Hi, good afternoon, beautiful spirits. I hope that you are doing well and still having a zenful day, a peaceful day, and protecting your peace at all cost. Um, Today, I want to have a very intimate moment with you, and I want to be very transparent as I possibly can with you as we discuss anxiety because a lot of people are living with anxiety and don't know it. Some know it but do not want to acknowledge it because of the stigma behind mental health. And others feel like they want to beat it with natural things or just figuring it, thinking that if they just put it behind them, then they don't have to, they'll be okay. And I want you to understand that anxiety disorder is one of the most monstrous things that an individual have to deal with. I too myself have had anxiety disorder for a very, very long time. And I want you to know that it's not something that is going to go away, but you can find ways to manage your anxiety. And I was blessed enough to have a mother and my brothers, my siblings who understood me. And when I would have panic attacks or anything, they would definitely be there for me. And I am definitely happy to say that I have not had none in a very, very long time. And I'm so happy to say that although I am a therapist, guess what? I have one and I love her dearly. We have celebrated our 2 year anniversary. So, this is me being very humble and transparent with you. When you're looking at anxiety, there are so many different things that falls under the anxiety umbrella. For example, you have generalized anxiety disorder, you have social anxiety. That's where, you don't want to be around a lot of people. You're checking yourself to make sure you don't make yourself look like a fool. You don't want to say the wrong things to people. You're thinking, wow, what if I say this? This may hurt the person's feelings. If I say this may make me, look stupid in front of people. So you're so busy worrying about what other people are thinking of you, you can't even live in the moment. Um, Also, agoraphobia, and that's when people who cannot go outside or be around large crowds, it's too much stimulation. It's very scary for them. Going into Walmart may be easy for you, but not a person with agoraphobia. Going to concerts might be easy for you, but not a person with anxiety. It's not. Um, Also, there are other disorders that are linked to anxiety, and I'll give you a few. That is depression, that is OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Those individuals love to clean houses. You're cleaning, making sure everything is straight and neat, and it's more symptoms to OCD, but that is just, I chose the cleaning piece because a lot of people clean because that's like a stress reliever for them. And sometimes anxiety can look like anxiety, but then it can be trauma. So you never know. So let's get into what are some side effects or what are some symptoms to anxiety so you can kind of know, you can know what to look for. Anxiety really messes with your concentration. Sometimes it is hard for you to be able to concentrate. You can be doing one thing and then sometimes you go over, someone calls you, you're doing something else. It's like you're all over the place. That is some a symptom of anxiety. Worrying about things that you cannot control, and no matter how hard you try to not worry about what it is that you are worried about, you still continue to worry about it. You're worrying about the future. What if this happened? What if that happened? Well, guess what? God didn't even promise us another minute, not even another hour. So why are we worried about tomorrow? You know? So I always think about the Lord's Prayer, especially the verse where it says, "Give us this day our daily bread," because He's given us what we need today, because we don't know if we're going to make it to tomorrow. But at the same time, anxiety doesn't tell us that. Anxiety makes us worry. It makes us worry. Do I have enough gas in the car? Do I have enough food? Am I doing my work right? You know, you worry about things that you cannot control, and it's constant. It's I mean, I'm talking 6 months or more, you know, and because if we're looking at the DSM-5, which we don't want to go into that, I'm not looking for, and that's another thing. When I'm doing these vlogs, I'm not looking to be, you know, by the books. I'm telling you this right now from experiences, as well as from patients that I treat, as well as, you know, working with different doctors. So again, you worry a lot. Another thing, another symptom of anxiety disorder is insomnia. Insomnia is when you cannot sleep. You have difficulties falling asleep, or you have difficulties, excuse me, falling asleep and staying asleep. You may fall asleep, but you're going to wake up. And some nights you may get 4 hours of sleep. Some nights you may get 2 or 3. Sometimes you may get 6, and that's a bonus. But most times you're going to bed late, you're up, you're just fidgety, and it's like you still have like things going because you just can't sleep. Why you can't sleep? Because you're thinking about things that happened yesterday, or you're probably thinking about things that's going to happen tomorrow. Again, tomorrow isn't promised, but you're just like, just thinking about so many thoughts that are going in through your head. Your heart race a lot. Your heart race. Sometimes you have heart palpitations. Sometimes you can just be sitting there talking to someone and you kind of have to breathe because your heart starts beating fast and it starts to race. And that is very, very scary, which could trigger a panic attack. So you have a high heart rate and you have heart palpitations, sweating. You also, you stay on guard a lot when you have anxiety disorder. You do not think like the average person. You can go to a concert or you can go to a restaurant, and I guarantee you a person who struggles with anxiety is looking for the nearest exit just in case something happens. So you're looking like, okay, the exit is right there. You kind of want to sit in places where you know you can kind of get out and get away just in case something happens. If that makes sense to you. But it's true, and that's what happens. A lot of people definitely deal with avoidance because it can be embarrassing. I can sit here and tell you now that I have shared with former friends that I suffered with anxiety, and as soon as we did not talk, they threw that up in my face. You know, a person that I was intimate with, you're crazy, you're crazy. That's not true. And I don't ever want you to feel that you are crazy. There's no such thing as that. People will try to make you feel inadequate. And that's why people avoid others, because they do not want others to see them have a panic attack. They don't want other people to see them in that element where they're vulnerable, and they don't, and they just don't want that. So they avoid people. Sometimes anxiety disorder make you think so much till you get tired. You genuinely get tired, especially after a panic attack, because your adrenaline is running, and then it's like fight or flight, and you are on it. So after that panic attack is over, and you don't know how long that panic attack is going to last, but once the panic attack is over, you are tired. Your heart has been beating fast. You have been breathing almost to the point where you can pass out, which is why you have dizziness. You feel dizzy a lot and stuff like that. And it's almost like you ran a marathon and you didn't. That's how it feels. And so you tend to get pretty tired and you want to lay down and get some rest because the panic attack, it depends on the severity of it. Um, you do have thoughts about death. It's not like you have thoughts about, do I have a terminal illness? Like, am I sick? You know, you hearing something from someone else, like you're trying your hardest, like, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to die, I want to be here for my kids, I want to be here for my family, I want to live, I don't want to die. And you're thinking, like, do I have a terminal illness? Like, these are things you really question yourself about, thoughts about death. So we're not talking about being suicidal. We're talking about you just thinking about certain things, like thoughts about death. You do have a sense of being nervous. You get nervous a lot. Sometimes you have migraines. Sometimes you have just regular headaches. The migraines are really, really hard. It messes up your vision. Muscle tenseness. So your muscles hurt a lot. Sometimes you may say, my back hurt, my legs hurt. One of the things that is interesting with anxiety is the need to have to urinate a lot. When your anxiety starts to hit its peak, you have to go to the bathroom a lot. Like, I have to go pee. I have to use the bathroom. That's that nervousness in you. And you're going to the bathroom and you're just constantly like, why am I using the bathroom so much? Anxiety does that to you. You have chest pains. Sometimes those chest pains can make you feel like you are having a heart attack. I can't tell you enough how much hospital bills that I have, because I thought that I was having a heart attack or a stroke because my arm was numb and my chest was hurting, and I sincerely thought that I was having a heart attack or stroke. And I can't tell you how embarrassing it is when you get to the hospital and the emergency room and they take you through all those tests and they tell you, no, it probably was just an anxiety disorder, a panic attack. And so you have a lot of hospital bills because you're constantly thinking something is wrong, especially people with, help me out. Come on, what is it? What is it? Lord, help me. I'm going to just say GERD, and it's going to come back to me. That causes you to have chest pains. But when you have anxiety, it can mimic it, and you be thinking, oh, there's something is wrong with me. Numbness and a tingling sensations in your hand. You get overheated sometimes, or sometimes you get chills. You also do have a fear that you're going to die when you're having a panic attack. Those are just some of the things that happens to you, or those are just some of the symptoms. Now, I can tell you some medical problems that could be linked to anxiety disorder or panic attacks. You could have thyroid problems, diabetes, heart disease. I want to say cancer. There are many other medical conditions that can kind of cause you to develop anxiety disorder. I want you to know that when you're dealing with anxiety, you do have loss of libido. Loss of libido just means that your sex drive is very low. A lot of times, sometimes when people take the medication, they don't have a high sex drive, because you don't have a need or want to have sex. You do have a lot of muscle aches and pains, and you do have a lot of digestive issues. Anyone who knows me personally, when you see me and you see my stomach is out, it's not because of eating or anything. To be honest with you, my doctor told me I need to eat more, but it comes because I have digestive issues as it relates to my anxiety disorder. And so therefore, you can get irritable bowel syndrome, or, you can have a lot of gas, or a lot of different stuff like with your digestive system. I can remember one time, and this is just me being very transparent. I wanted a tummy tuck because I was like, I am tired of this. I want a flat tummy. And when I went to the doctor, it was actually the doctor that told me. He said, that's not fat in your stomach. There's something else going on in your tummy. And it's in this gastro something, he called it. And he was like, you need to talk to your doctor. Well, to be honest, I already knew that that I had issues with my digestive system. I just thought he wouldn't have known, but he did. I think that is so funny to me because I try to keep it a secret, and he was just like, that's not fat. That is something else going on that's going on with your stomach. So just know that that is one of them. It can cause breathing problems, and that's why it's important for you to learn how to do deep breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth very slowly, because if you do not, you do that, you know what's going to happen? You can faint. There are spectrums in every type of mental health disorder. So you can, it's the severity of the anxiety. Sometimes people have it to the point where it can mimic a seizure. It can mimic anything, how severe the panic attack is. So that's why it's important for you to try to get a hold of it, so that you will be able to you just don't want it to get to the point where it is that severe. And so those are just some. I want you to know that anxiety does happen in children. It is hard for kids to function in school, and it happens as an adult, and it's hard for adults to function at work. So be gentle with yourself. There are times where, you're not going to feel like doing certain things, or you're unable to concentrate. But that's because, the anxiety can do things like that to you. In closing, we can talk about risk factors as it relates to anxiety disorder. Trauma is one of the biggest things that can cause anxiety. And trauma does not have to start in adulthood. It can start from your childhood when it comes down to anxiety. Stress due to an illness, stress being a caregiver for someone else, a lot of stress build up and you're not getting it out. Blood relatives that have it can be in your genes, and if someone else have it, you can possibly develop it that way. The biggest thing that I hope you guys get from this is knowing the symptoms. And when you're, because sometimes a lot of people self-medicate, and what you don't know is that drugs and alcohol will increase your anxiety. It's definitely misuse of drugs and alcohol. It will increase your anxiety. A lot of worrying, a lot of things can cause other diseases when it comes down to anxiety disorder. Like I just told you, your body cannot constantly stay in fight or flight mode and not think that other things are not going to happen to you, such as, God forbid, you start experiencing heart problems, or some, as you get older, we want to decrease our stress. So, some people may have strokes, and I'm not taking that medicine. I'm not taking that. You crazy? I'm not taking it. But guess what? After that happens, the doctor is going to give you the medication anyways, because we don't want you to have a stroke or a heart attack. So don't look at taking medication for your mental health as a bad thing. It is no different from you taking medicine to treat your high blood pressure. It's no different from you taking medication to treat Graves' disease. It's no different from you taking medicine to treat your diabetes. No different. And I want you guys to also understand this. And it's very important because, you know, those with, you know, and don't let this fear, put fear in you, because I dislike it. You know, people with mental health disorders, like I said, which is why people would like to do private pay versus using their insurance, is because we are considered to have pre-existing conditions. So if you have a job and you have that, you know, if you have that on your record, guess what? That's a pre-existing condition, and a lot of people don't know that. So sometimes if you are out of work for your mental health, they're not going to pay you short-term disability for it, or something like that. I could be wrong, but I just remember it was a pre-existing condition and it was something that my insurance would not cover. And I just thought that that was not okay, because you know, I feel like we should be treated just like everyone else. But anyways, I hope this was very helpful to you. And I hope that you really be very sensitive to people with mental health disorders, and watch those words when you call people crazy or you call people unstable, because that's very hurtful. It's not right. And to be honest with you, you don't know what in life could cause you to have a psychotic break, because trust me, you can have it. So be good to yourselves, be good to others. I love you and I thank you for listening to me, and you have a blessed day.